AI moves fast, like absurdly fast. New models, new tools, new features. Basically, every single day, there's something new dropping. And if you've spent any time in this space, you've probably felt, like I do, perpetually behind. I'm sure a lot of you saw the X post from Andrej Karpathy, founding member of OpenAI, former director of AI at Tesla, the person who coined the term vibe coding, about feeling like he's so far behind because there's just always more. There's so many tools, plugins, extensions. And that is the reality of this space. I felt like that through the entirety of 2025 when I started this channel. But the reality is, the more time I spent in this space, the more behind I felt, because there's just so much to take in and it changes so fast. But here's the thing I keep coming back to. The way you get stronger at something, it's by doing the reps, showing up every day, day after day, week after week. You don't have to jump on every single new release. You don't have to know every model that comes out. You don't have to follow all the benchmarks. You just have to show up. So for 2026, I am setting a challenge for myself. 52 weeks, 52 apps. One app every week for the whole year. And I want to talk for a minute about why I'm doing this. It's not just to build the skills, although that's definitely a side benefit, but really it's about fixing something that's going on in my own head. So 2025 was my intro year. I started using ChatGPT and Claude, and then when Claude Code came out and Codex and Gemini CLI, I tried to jump in with both feet and try to figure out what all these tools could do. And in the last few months, I feel like I've gotten a pretty good, very basic foundation of what the capabilities are and where these tools are headed. But there is so much more to explore. But I have this reoccurring problem. When I start thinking about what I want to build in my head, I start building it up as this massive project. I start out really simply, and then I think, oh, maybe I could add that, or maybe it should do this. Well, I don't know. Can AI do that? How do I ask for that? What if I'm not sure even what I'm asking for? In my head, I start combining what I want the tool to do, and then maybe what else it could do. So by the time I sit down with my coding tool, I suddenly don't even know where to start. So I just don't sometimes. But here's what I keep rediscovering. Every single time when I force myself to sit down and just start talking to a chat system or a coding agent, it goes so much better than I thought it would. It's so much easier than I had made it out in my mind. The hardest part is just starting, and I keep forgetting that. So one of the things I'm hoping this challenge will do is to finally prove that to myself. Over and over, every week, 52 times. It's gotta sink in at that point, right? But there's another thing I wanna work on. I get twisted up in my head about, I don't know what tech stack to use. I'm not sure how to ask for this. I don't know the right language to use. But guess what? The tool that I'm using does. If I can figure out how to force myself to ask the tool to ask me what questions I should be asking, when I'm talking about the app that I am envisioning in my mind, it doesn't even occur to me to ask sometimes. Would this be better in 3D? Is it even possible? Is there a better user interface pattern already in existence for this? Are there standards that I should be asking you to follow? What's a better way in general to display this type of information? The problem is I don't know what I don't know. So this year I want to practice something specific. Asking the AI what other questions I should be asking the AI. So I'm not talking about just getting answers to my questions, but actually using AI to figure out what my questions should be. And then there's this other thing. Every time I do finally sit down to start an app, I feel like it has to matter. I've spent so much time learning about new tools or the new model that just came out that I am trying to put everything into this app and test a new feature or a new release and trying to build something that's going to be useful to me and hopefully interesting to you, the viewer. And it becomes so monumental, it's basically an impossible task I've built for myself. So by the time I sit down to actually begin, my brain is so muddled together with, am I testing this feature? Am I using this new model? What is this app supposed to do? Oh, what should it look like? It's so confusing and complicated. I don't know where to start. And that's a me problem. But I think a lot of people can relate to that sense of overwhelm, that sense of, I have to catch up to everything that's happening all the time. I was so relieved when I saw that Karpathy post. I thought, if he's feeling like that, and he sort of invented this stuff, oh my gosh, no wonder I'm feeling like I am paddling as fast as I can, but still falling further and further behind every day. So part of this challenge is me trying to realize it's literally impossible to keep up with every single thing. And that's okay. We don't have to. The good news is we can just dip our toes in at any time. Each app doesn't have to test everything. I can focus on one thing at a time if I'm building more apps with a smaller scope. Each app doesn't have to be everything, because that pressure I feel to make the app matter, it actually becomes paralyzing. And here's the paradox that I'm hoping plays out over the year. If there's always another app coming out, then this app doesn't have to be everything. If you only ate one meal a day, it better be the perfect balance of nutrients. But if you're eating multiple small meals through the day, it's okay if each one doesn't cover all the bases. Over the longer term, you get everything in balance. When I'm not putting so much pressure on everything I make, it will hopefully give me the freedom to just make more things, not just more things, but better things, and explore more areas and cover more ground. That freedom is what I'm chasing. Okay, so what are the rules? 52 weeks, 52 apps. But what counts as an app? For me, obviously a web app or an app that I'd run on my phone, desktop apps, those kinds of things count. But I'm also including something that might just enhance my workflow. So this might be using AI to create a script or to automate a workflow, or even to help me create documentation. I'm counting those as apps because how versatile Claude Code is and how much it can actually help beyond just the world of coding. There's a process I've started using to have a conversation with Claude through the Claude Code CLI to help me think through my ideas, to brainstorm ideas for scripts, and then to help me write an outline for videos and even write the script sometimes. And that's all just document-based, but it's enormously beneficial. So, scripts and automation definitely counts. Tools to help with documentation definitely counts. Ideally, I'll be doing a bunch of apps that help solve problems for me, but I'm definitely going to be doing some apps that are just for fun or for joy or just to bring a smile to my face. Those totally count. If I create something that is beyond the scope of 1 week, I'm going to say version 1 counts and call it good. I'll hopefully then keep iterating on it over the course of the year, but each new revision, that doesn't count. That's not a new app. I want to really force myself to sit down and start from scratch each week, just to build that muscle of getting started each and every time. That said, there does have to be some purpose to it. I don't want it to just be a calculator every week for the sake of building a thing. So there has to be some extra purpose or learning involved for me to make it. If it's a calculator with emoji buttons, that's boring. If it's a calculator where you add colors together to build a color wheel, now that could be kind of interesting and would definitely help me learn a few things. That I totally count. What doesn't count? If I'm just building on last week's app, that's not a new app. If I do a brand new tool using input from the first app as a design for the second app, okay, that counts. But I am looking for 52 distinct apps. At the end of the year, I want to know that I sat down every week and forced myself to overcome that perceived cognitive cost of just getting started and doing something new. So how I'm going to share this? I'm not going to go over in excruciating detail every single app that I do through the week. I might use some to highlight a new feature or a new tool that I've come across and I'm trying to share, but generally I'm planning on once a month a recap of the apps that I built and any key takeaways or pieces of information that I think could help other people. I'll talk about what worked, what I learned, and what was interesting. And definitely if there's any takeaways that I feel are worth sharing. But not every app will get its own video. I think we'd all be overwhelmed with that. So here's where you come in. If you want to join me and challenge yourself, I'd love that. Come on in. If an app a week is too much for you, that's totally fine. Maybe once a month is what you have time for. The point isn't perfection. The point is to set a goal that you think will be beneficial to yourself and just start building that muscle. And so, since we're already in the middle of the first week of January, I've got an app. Not surprisingly, it's a habit tracker. I've got 52 apps for 2026. Each card has an editable field for the name of the app and then a simple button that we can cycle through for hopefully all success, but occasionally something might not quite work out the way I had intended. But for week 1, we can definitely say it's a success because I have a very simple app. I've got it broken down by quarters with 13 apps per quarter. And if I just want a quick view, I can see all 52 apps laid out on one screen. So believe it or not, I actually did work with ChatGPT to even get this app scoped and defined, because in my head, I had all these ideas of, I need to build an app and I need to sort of present what my plan is for this challenge. And oh gosh, I need to figure out what my rules are. Do I want to put screenshots in here? Do I want to take notes? Do I want to have information about future potential revisions for this project? And ChatGPT was very good about being very clear with me. No, you are muddling several different things. Let's keep this as dead simple as possible. Let's make it almost bland and boring. And so that's what I have. Now, I am definitely going to be revisiting this app in the future because there's a lot of ways to display data, even very simply, especially very simply. So you will probably see this app in future videos, but it won't count as one of the next 51 apps that I will be working on this year. And the next app that I build will need to do something different. So that's the challenge. 52 apps in 52 weeks. 2025 was about the introduction of AI and getting used to the idea of using these tools and getting familiar with what's even possible. 2026 is about building the reps. Now that we have an idea of what can be done, we want to start building up that muscle and building up a base layer so that we can go beyond what we know can be done and go on to the things that we didn't even know were possible. I want to prove to myself over and over that getting started is really the hardest part. Like so many other things in life, once I get over that hurdle, it turns out that the rest is so much better and so much more beneficial than I had ever imagined. So if you want to come along for the ride, and I definitely would welcome that, hit the subscribe button and maybe the bell to get notified for those monthly update videos. I'd love to hear in the comments if you have ideas for things you're going to be working on for this year. And if you have suggestions for me, I am definitely interested. I'll tell you, every time I sit down and stare at that blank terminal window, I get a case of writer's block. All suggestions are most definitely welcome. So if you're interested in joining for this challenge, please come along and let's do this together. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.